Everybody wants to be rich, but almost nobody wants to give up the things that they're actually keeping them broke. See, here's the truth. Becoming wealthy isn't just about what you do. It's about what you're willing to sacrifice. I'm talking about the habits, the people, the comfort, and even the mindset that you might be holding on to right now, the very same things that are quickly killing your chances at the financial freedom. I gave them up myself, and that's the only reason I was able to make millions of dollars, and trust me, it wasn't easy. But if you want to be rich, if you want to control over your time, your income, and your life, there's no way around it. See, in this video, I'm breaking down the 12 sacrifices that separate the elite from average. And if you can make them, you'll change your life. Not just for today, but forever. Let's get into it. So, sacrifice number 1 is night out every single weekend. See, most people, they feel like I work Monday through Friday, so therefore I deserve to go out to the club. I deserve to stay out late drinking. I'm supposed to go out and reward myself because I work so hard during the week. And most people, what they do is that they use their weekends for just escape. They want to escape the reality. They are not happy with who they are. They're not happy with how they're living. So they want to escape by going out at night on the weekend. And they want to be able to consume the toxicity of drinking, maybe doing the things they're not supposed to do. Now, successful people that are elite, they understand I'm not going to go out on the weekend to get a hangover. I'm not going to go out to escape my reality because escaping my reality does not fix anything. So therefore, I'm going to build my reality. So they use the weekends to get ahead. I count weekends as bonus days. Most people want to play the game 5 days a week. Imagine if you play the game 24/7, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, and that you never stop, because playing the game is not just something you do. Playing the game becomes part of who you are. Sacrifice number 2, you choose entertainment over education. You're streaming endlessly. You're binge watching on Netflix, and then you're wondering why you're missing the real information that could help you become successful. So the advice here, what successful people do is the successful people, they cut Netflix binge watching. They don't play video games because they understand there's a bigger game to play, and that game is called life. So you have to learn to sacrifice the entertainment. Sacrifice number 3 is spending money on the things that have no value. A lot of times, people want to keep up with the Kardashians. People want to keep up with the Joneses. They always want to have the latest phone. They want to have the latest watch. And they're just doing everything they can to look cool. They're upgrading their status, but they're not upgrading their life. Just because you are wearing an expensive watch, it does not make you successful. I want you to understand this concept very, very detailed, because I want you to understand that most people confuse what success is. Success is not impressing other people, especially the people that you don't even like. Success is about building something that can outlast you. Most people, they'll have a nice watch, they'll have a nice car, they'll have nice shoes on. But when you look deep into their bank account, they're looking for the next payday to be able to finance the next week. And you don't want to be one of those people. Don't just spend money just to spend money. Spend money on the things that make you better, okay? So important tip, sacrifice buying things that you don't need. Sacrifice number 4, taking every vacation your friends do. You are almost feel like you're going to miss out. You're telling yourself, oh my God, if I'm not going to go on this vacation, if I'm not going to go on this trip, my friends are not going to like me. It's almost constant reminder that you're not enough because you have to do what everyone else is doing. See, delay exotic trips until your assets can pay for them without stress. Sacrifice number 5, we're going to talk about the comfort food and expensive eating out. And when I say expensive eating out, I'm not talking about the high class restaurants. I'm talking about you ordering that DoorDash, Uber Eats. And some people say, well, I save time doing so. Maybe you do, and maybe you can afford it. Maybe your time is worth so much more because you make so much more per hour that you get to afford to do that. But most people who are starting out, they are not making that much money in the beginning of their career. They are commission only. So they only eat what they were able to hunt. And if you're not hunting fast enough, but yet you try to spend all this money on delivery charges, and you're looking at your bank account and you see DoorDash, Uber Eats, but yet you're not seeing the commission hitting your account at the same rate or higher, then you're making a big mistake. So meal plan. Sacrifice number 6, sleeping in. Trading extra sleep for earlier mornings. That gives you 2 to 3 more productive hours a day. Kobe Bryant said it best. He said, you know what? I have an advantage on everybody because by the time somebody wakes up, I already done 500 shots. I already practiced. And that's going to give you the edge. You got to realize what's important in life. Sleep is important, but if you're oversleeping, then you're stealing those precious moments that you could actually spend with the people that you love. You can actually spend doing something that's going to get you ahead. Most people think that because they work Monday to Friday, that they need to sleep in, that they need to stay in bed later. And we all seen these, decision-making videos where somebody could go to the gym and spend that 1 hour building their body, getting stronger, getting better, rather than sleeping in and laying in the bed, watching their phone and scroll up and down on Instagram. So make better decisions. Sacrifice sleeping in exchange of doing something that's going to build you. Trust me, you will sleep for many, many, many years when you're dead. Now it's time to take action. Sacrifice number 7, which is hanging out with unmotivated, non-ambitious friends. People that just want to sit on a couch, smoke pot, talk shit about each other, watch movies, and doing dumb stuff that makes no difference in their life, okay? There's many, many times that I had people around me that told me, are you serious? You're gonna waste your summer working? You're gonna waste your summer knocking on doors? You're gonna waste your summer making phone calls? Come on, let's go. Why are you going to this meeting? Why are you going to this training? And I'll tell you why. It was because I had a mission. I had a purpose. I had a why. And those unmotivated friends would be like those crabs that will constantly pull you down, will constantly drag you down, and make sure that you become like them. You become infected like they are. More you hang out with these unmotivated friends, they steal your motivation and they make you just like them. So I made a decision quickly to stop spending time with people who aren't going anywhere, even if they've been friends with me for many, many years. T.I. had a quote and he said, trees don't hang out with the grass, even though they all came from the same place. So you gotta become the tree and not stay as a grass. Sacrifice number 8, spending on holidays like you are already rich. If you're starting out entrepreneur, stop worrying about impressing other people. They need to understand that you're actually in the motion, in the position of building a successful company, a successful brand. And you cannot right now go and afford spend thousands upon thousands of dollars just to make them feel good. They're not going to start to hate you because you can't afford to give them a expensive gift. And if they do, to be honest, they're the wrong people for you anyways, and you shouldn't even care. So don't spend on holidays like you're already rich if you're building up the company, because it's not going to help you and it's going to put you behind. Avoid going broke every Christmas, every birthday just to show love with overpriced gifts. It's not showing love. Sacrifice number 9, it's just because you are in a high performing environments that you think that you need to go out there and chug big amounts of caffeine, right? I seen people do stupid things. They drink 4 or 5 Red Bulls and they really don't understand what these things do to their body. You don't need to do that, okay? If you're just constantly looking for this caffeine rush because you feel like if you don't have it, it makes you less productive, it's all in your head. You gotta sacrifice all these non-essential snacks or drinks that don't really help you. You become very dependent on these things, and when you don't have them, you become less productive because you're looking for that high, you're looking for that rush. So to me, take the black coffee, have your measurements, have your limits, understand that more doesn't mean it's better. And I'm actually a offender of that. In the beginning of my career, I would drink 6 shots of espresso okay? 3 times a day. When I started to really focus on my health, when I started to really understand what I'm putting in my body and how it's affecting me, it really changed everything for me. Not only I was looking at my bank account and saying, why am I spending so much money on caffeine or the snacks that don't really make me healthier, but actually make me unhealthy? And then I'm looking at it and saying, well, how does this hurt my body? How does this hurt the longevity of how I'm going to play this game? And I realized that it's hurting me a lot. So the proper nutrition, having the workout schedule, being able to go for long walks, hikes is going to give you more energy than any Celsius, any Red Bull. And I'm talking about long term because you're actually building your body. You're building your system, your immune system to be stronger. Why do you think most people get sick all the time? Because they put all these chemicals into their body. They put all these additives in their body that becomes dependent on it. And when they don't have it, their immune system gets weakened and weakened. And now they get sick. You don't want to continuously play that game because it's not a long-term game. It's a short-term game. Sacrifice number 10, wasting time and complaining about life. Okay, there's a saying and it says, you got to hate the player, not the game. And you are that player. See, whatever you're doing, whatever result you currently have, that's the result you actually deserve. And you may say, no, I've been working very hard. When are the things going to turn around for me? When are the things going to get better for me? What you need to understand is that there's a karmic law. And that law states what goes around comes back around. Yes, you are paying the price right now. Things may not be working out for you right at this point. The client that didn't buy from you didn't buy for a reason. So everything that's happening in your world right now is happening for a reason. And you need to understand that blaming the game and using that energy to drain yourself and get tired of pointing the finger and saying it's his fault, her fault, it's not going to help you. Remember, when you're pointing the finger, 3 point back at you. So you got to focus on what you can control. Control the controllable, not controllable. Because if you're just focusing on non-controllables, then what you're doing is that you're wasting your precious effort that you could take the same energy and apply on finding a new deal, building a new relationship, getting back up and doing more. So my advice to you is stop blaming and start taking responsibility. Understand if you stay in the game, later on, connecting the dots backwards, you're going to understand why you went through that problem, why you went through that setback. Sacrifice number 11, doing everything yourself. You know, I really thought in the beginning of my career that if I don't do it, it can't be done right. I really thought that no one can do a job better than me. And that's the control freak in me that stopped me from really scaling the business, stopped me from really leveraging the different talents, different people that I had around me. And that really slowed me down. So you got to sacrifice feeding your ego. You got to sacrifice trying to make yourself feel important just because you're doing something. That's called busy work. You got to let go of the I'll just do it myself. Okay? That mindset is really slowing you down and is really hurting you and you're not even realizing. Start outsourcing. Start leveraging. Find people that are better than you in certain areas of your business that you know that yes, maybe you can do the work. Yes, you're good at it. But just because you're good at it doesn't mean you have to hold on to it. Pass it to someone else and then free that time to do other things that you are actually great at. And that's how you bring more value. That's how you build your ability to scale and really speed up the process of getting to the success point where you have a system in place. Because in reality, if you're looking for a big exit, if you're looking for your company to be very successful, like Axe Elite just was ranked 711th fastest company in the United States of America out of 5,000 privately owned company by Inc. magazine, we would not be able to get there if I just tried to do everything by myself. I have a great team around me. You know, I have people that we have in the right places. We have an operation and everything runs systematically. Are there going to be bolt drops? Yes. Are there going to be problems? Yes. But then you come in and you tie that bolt and you make sure that everything is working. But start delegating, start leveraging the talent that you have around you. Sacrifice number 12, you got to get rid of the idea of balance early on. There's no such thing as balance, okay? You want to be able to accept a season of obsession and imbalance now so that way you can have the lifetime of a freedom. Most people, they think if they're putting 8 hours at work, they need to be able to put 8 hours for fun. That's just not how successful people work. You need to become obsessed. I always told the people around me I was not talented. English is my third language. I came to this country without speaking one word. I was labeled dyslexic. I was labeled special needs. My GPA was 2.1. There was no talent. But once I learned that in the United States of America, it doesn't matter what color skin you are, doesn't matter what religion you are, doesn't matter where you come from, that you have an opportunity to become as successful as you desire to be, and nothing or anyone can stop you. I became obsessed with that idea of I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that I dedicate my time, energy to making this one thing work. And for the last 15 years, I've been in the same exact industry, dominating, disrupting that industry, becoming number one in that industry because of my obsession. And you can do that too if you're willing to become obsessed with the things that you're doing right now to build the life that you desire. If you made it this far, you already know most people will never give up what's keeping them broke. But if you're serious about getting rich, it's not just about what to sacrifice, it's about why you're willing to make those sacrifices in the first place. And for me, that why goes all the way back to where I came from. Growing up with nothing, losing everything more than once, and still finding a way to build a 9-figure business from scratch. If you want to know exactly how I went from struggling just to pay rent to building a company that changed my life forever, watch the video right here. It's most real, unfiltered story I ever told. And if it doesn't light a fire under you to change your life, nothing will. Take care.